happy Thursday evening. It's been a hell of a last 15 minutes with the storm I just had anyway. So hope y'all are getting rain, but not all this electricity that we're getting here. But how's everyone doing?
Good.
CJ, how's your week been?
Recovering from Comic Con, super fun.
Yeah.
Re-injured myself on the other ankle again, but one of these days I'll have 2 good ankles. Otherwise, it was a blast. The vendors and artists were awesome, so looking forward to the next one.
Definitely. And Cowtown Comic Con, welcome to the show. Hope y'all had a good week.
Hey, appreciate you having us on. Hello, William Russell.
Well, how was y'all's week been?
Good and busy, gearing up for the con. So I would say it's been very busy. It's busy every day. New round of flyers go out. We like to tour around and see some of the vendors. We're starting that this week and go to their stores, drop off flyers, hand out posters and things like that.
I can understand that.
And say, what are the dates for Cowtown?
October 22nd and 23rd.
Okay.
Here in Fort Worth, Texas at the Will Rogers Memorial Center.
Now, y'all just recently moved because y'all were somewhere else.
We did. We were at the Hearst Conference Center where we had about 23,000 square feet. And literally, we just moved. We had to move and upgrade. We loved Hearst, everything about it. The people were great. We did 3 other shows there, but we outgrew it. So we're in the heart of Fort Worth. That's where we want to keep the show. We call it Cowtown because it's in Fort Worth. So we figured why not put Cowtown in Cowtown. So we moved to the Will Rogers Center, and it is about 51,000 square feet of space that we have for this one. And
nice.
I think we're pretty much down to about 3 vendor booths until we've got a complete sellout.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, that's definitely a good problem to have.
Who were the guests this year?
Oh my God, we got a list heading up. Oh, thanks. We actually line up. Start off with Miko Swyan is coming in. John Jang will be a guest this year. Ken Salinas is an artist out of Austin, out of the Cedar Park area. He's getting to be very well known, doing a lot of independent books and things. We have goodness, who else? Ryan Kincaid is coming in. Marat Michaels is coming in, who is the creator of the Do You Poo series. Yeah. We have, Deadpool, other things. We have Mike DeBalfo, Marissa Pope are both coming in, who both worked on Lady Death. We've got one of our sponsors is Gabe's Cave. So Gabe's Cave is pretty big. They're out of Arkansas. They have a store, but they're bringing in Tony Fleece, who is the writer and creator of Stray Dogs. Tone Rodriguez, who is co-creator of that, also interior artist on those books. Mm-hmm. They're bringing in Aaron Bartling, Seth Groves, and they're about to announce another guest that they're sending over to us that they're bringing in. So that's just, there's a long list. They can go to our website at cowtowncomiccon.com and take a look. We have anime guests coming in, headlining by Eric Vale, who's a voice actor on Dragon Ball Z and other things. I think he was down at Comic Conroe, as a matter of fact. So, but I mean, we've got a lot of local guys coming in. We have people like William Russell coming in, David Sanchez. I mean, like I said, we're going to have over 60 artists and creators down Artist Alley. One thing about our show is it is a true comic con that we have in the name. We want to bring comics back to the Comic Con and honor the creators and the artists that make the industry. So that's kind of why we run the show. We enjoy doing that. We like promoting the artists and the creators that are out there. And we got some amazing vendors coming in as well.
Now, William Russell, who's that? Now, I actually interviewed him at Comic Palooza. God, I got to get my Comic Con straight. I've been to so many lately. But yeah, I know he wrote Psycho Sal. I jumped in on that Kickstarter, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. That was a fun one.
Didn't you write for that?
I did. I am writing the first 3 issues of Psycho Sal, and then the one thing with Psycho Sal, what William did with that is he's got 3 different perspectives on that book. It'll be 9 issues. I'm writing the first 3, then he'll have a different artist for 4, 5, 6, and a different writer for 7, 8, and 9. And then McLean does all the lettering and the design on the book, and the Kickstarter builds, and everything is all this guy. So
very nice. Yeah, LOL, some psycho. Yeah, we know William. The angry artist, as he's known as.
One thing that always fascinates me when you have the actual physical artists, there are a lot of them are literally drawing on site, and to me, I'm fascinated by it just watching them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of Comic Cons, in my opinion. It's like back when I was a kid, and I'm 46, and my dad would take me to the Comic Cons in the late 80s and 90s. I mean, that's all you would see is those guys. I mean, you saw a ton of vendors, but majority of it, especially around that time when Image and all that stuff was breaking out, they'd have those guys lined up, just drawing pictures, signing books, throwing books to people, and so like Chris put it best earlier this year where he said, man, we need to put comic back into Comic-Con. You don't see a lot of that. I mean, there are a few of them out there, but you don't see a lot of that. And so here's a chance that, not only are we Comic-Con owners, but we're also collectors. We also work in the comic industry as like me, like letter and designer and artist. Chris is a writer and creator, so it's not like we don't know what's going on around us. We do, and we also attend the Comic Cons every year. We do about 30 to 35 shows a year. So, I mean,
wow.
It's not that we know the ins and outs and the rights and wrongs of Comic-Con, but we do know what a little bit of it takes to put the comics back into Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So,
now, if I'm correct, Cowtown's been going on for 2 years, but this is your 4th show?
Yes, 2 years. This will be our 4th show. Yeah, and it is McLean and myself, and then I think the actual brain trust behind everything and the hardest working people are the wives. So you have Kim and Marty are out there too, behind the scenes doing a lot of the stuff that we don't get to or get done on a daily basis. So it takes a team to build one of these. So, and we just hope we keep growing, and that's what we want to do. Like I said, we're trying to do it right and promote it right, and not be a con that's trying to rush anything. So there's a lot that goes into it, like a lot of guys that have done them. And like I said, you want to do it right. You want to treat the vendors right, treat the artists right, because you want those guys coming back and talking good about you. And when they do that and they promote your show, it'll bring people out to the show to have a good time. That's what we're looking for out of this.
The number one thing that we look forward to, and we see this in a few shows, is we are constantly on the floor. Mm-hmm. We're not somewhere else. We're not hidden away for a while. We're constantly on the floor, talking to everybody, making sure everybody's doing okay, even to the extent of like, hey, you need a bottle of water, or whatever. Hey, how's your day going, and, picking up things. Shoot, man, these guys have busted me shopping a couple of times. I mean, it's all about having fun, bringing in your community, having a good time, seeing the families that you're used to seeing, even as us being owners, seeing other people that go to other shows that we've actually vendored at or been set up at, and see them, and just, it's like a big family,
Oh, that's one thing we've always said is it's definitely a family community in the Comic Cons.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like old home week. That COVID year killed us because we couldn't see our family. And it's like, okay, where's the next one?
Exactly. And then they started coming back, and now, well, we weren't. I know you said you were down at Conroe, but I think weekend before that we were at Bell County, and I mean that one right there proves that there were 40,000 on Saturday alone through the doors at that show. It's that show is it's a lot of fun. That show is really good. We like seeing the crowds there. Every show's different. You're going to have shows that have 1,000 people come through, have 100 people come through, have Fan Expo Dallas, and them have 60 to 80,000 come through. So every show's different, and they're treated different. So I think we've got our niche where what we like and the way we're growing it. And like I said, we're just trying to do it right, and we hope everybody keeps having fun and coming back. One thing about us is our ticket prices are $10 online, and we do that because we want a family afford to get into the Comic Con and still be able to go to the vendors tables and artist tables and purchase stuff from them. We're not one of those. We don't want to charge high prices, and then when the family comes in, they don't have any money to spend anything. So then, vendors aren't happy and artists aren't happy because they're taking time out of their day to set up and be there for the weekend, and they have expenses as well. So you hope that they do well and they're able to promote their stuff and it goes home with fans of theirs.
We encourage people all the time, like whether this is right or wrong, we encourage people all the time. We tell them like, hey, at the door, if you walk in, it's $15. That's super cheap. But if you go to our website, you can buy your day tickets for $10, or you can get a 2-day pass for $18.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, we're literally on it with people, to.
You guys still open?
No, sorry.
Okay.
We're sorry. We're at the store right now. So besides all that, we own a comic book store, 2 of our other friends. So we're at the store. We're closed, but the door stays open a lot. So.
But yeah, we encourage people to go online because we want to save them money. Because all we want is for people to come in for a weekend, have a good time, see people that they know, pick up. Most of these artists, vendors, and stuff, they do this for a living. So pick up stuff from their table, whether it's one thing or 3 things or whatever, and just overall have a good time, with the socializing and the community itself and things like that. And somebody made a comment on here that says what makes Cowtown also awesome is the fact that they promote all the artists. Absolutely. I mean, we spend hours and hours putting those faces on our website, as well as like we just got the new flyers done where we put everybody's, as many as we could, faces on the flyers, because we want people to know who's coming out. It's not a popularity game. It's not a pro or indie game. It's who is a part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see how she's going to make it, but Bish wants to know how long Sunday will be.
10 or 11
to 4.
11 to 4. Miss, you're going to be too tired. I can tell you that right now. From New Wave Expo.
Mm-hmm. So I think I saw it. It's like $10 for parking. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yeah. It's City of Fort Worth, so they're going to charge parking. So parking is $10. There is an underground parking garage. There is also a parking lot right outside the entrance. So there's tons of parking at this place.
You'll cram as many people as you can into one car.
Exactly. Yeah. Cram as many as you can into one car. Yeah. But one thing about Hearst was always free parking, but when you get into the cities, when you do Houston or you do San Antonio shows and all that, and you're in the downtown area, the city's always going to do that. We can't control that. That has nothing to do with us. But yeah, parking is $10.
Yeah, I think parking went up this year for Comic Palooza and Anime Matsuri.
Mm-hmm.
So are there going to be like any panels or any events or anything going on during this?
Not at this one. No, this is our first time at this event center. We tried to pick up a couple of more rooms. They were not available. That sets off the main room for a panel. So we have had them creator panels before. This show will not have any panels. We're okay with that. We will have live interviews going on. Our friends over at Gabe's Cave, they do a lot of podcasts as well. And they will actually have a big area set up to where they will have director's chairs, and they'll be interviewing a lot of the creators and stuff live during the show. So fans and guests can stop, watch the interviews. That'll be going on. They'll have a whole event schedule planned out right in front of their booth so people can watch the live interviews. Those interviews will also be on Facebook and on YouTube live on their sites.
Yeah, and since we don't have any scheduled panels, but Gates Cave runs a YouTube and a podcast, things like that, and so they will be running several artists a day, and they do quick interviews, 10-15 minutes. So I'm pretty confident that they're going to interview every artist and vendor in that building. So
you'd be surprised how hard that can be at times.
Oh no.
Yeah, they've done our first 3 shows, and they go through them pretty good. So they get a lot of guys out there, and they'll send out a schedule. They'll contact the artists like they do and say, hey, we'd like to have you come sit down for 15 minutes, talk to us, and 20 minutes. And they do. They'll spend 15, 20 minutes. They'll take an hour break here because they like to walk around and shop. But those guys, you go by their booth, and what they have is giveaways, whether it's sling bags, backpacks, pops, their keychains, and all they say is, hey, while you're standing here, go subscribe right now or go like our Facebook page, and you can have a sling bag to carry around and pick up stuff. And people do it, and they got a lot of followers. They do a lot of giveaways on their show. They have a lot of artists that are under them that do a lot of sketch cards that they give away. So it's a good group of guys over there.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I know that feeling quite well. So what made y'all decide to start Cowtown?
Wow, that's a good question. I think we were talking like pre-show here, and a few years ago, my son was still in high school, and I would do these little one-day shows for the Booster Club to take the table money and give it all back to the high school and give it back to the kids. And that started growing really fast. And then we moved from that to doing it at a civic center, doing these little one-day shows. And then McLean and I were talking, and I think we just really decided to bite the bullet one time. We're like, McLean used to help promote, what was it? You helped create.
So I helped with Comic Palooza. Speaking of Comic Palooza, I helped John Simmons in the past. Denver Comic Con with Gabriel and all them before Fan Expo bought them out. And I was trying to think of what the other ones were. It's been a few down the line, and just helping out, helping structure and get design work done and stuff like that, promoting, so.
But getting with him, and we were just talking, and it was simply people coming up to us going, oh, y'all ought to do a bigger show. You ought to look at a 2-day show. We're like, nah, we don't want to do that yet. And then the more and more we kept traveling and doing shows and setting up as vendors, we're like, oh, well, this is fun. Let's try one. So we put one together a couple of years ago. Right out of the gate, we have a lot of friends in the community that are vendors, and they're like, hey, you put on a show, we're there. You guys put on a show, we're there. A lot of artists, the local artists, guys we know, and other people will go, hey, you come in, we're coming. Okay. So first show we did was at the city of Hearst. And I think we started promoting within 30 or 45 days, we sold out of vendor spots, and we're like, wow. And then we couldn't add any more. We were sold out. And I think the crowd that came out for that was one of those going, okay, we got something here. We weren't expecting, I think we had over 2,000 our first show, and minimal promotions at the first one because we were new at this. Mm-hmm. And we weren't expecting the response that we got. And from there, it was, okay, when that one was over, we were already planning the second one. And then in January of this year, we put on our first horror con at Hearst. We had some guys from Friday the 13th come in that were in part 5, and we had horror guests come in. And we did a horror con, which was a different theme we wanted to do. That was very successful for us. But kind of our roots, I'll say, is the comic industry and the Comic Con. And that's where, like, okay, we had already had our dates for this one. So we're just going to keep growing this one. We found our permanent home at Will Rogers. And like I said, the minute this one's over in October, we'll be booking the dates for 2023. So, people have asked us, hey, you should do an anime con. You should do a sci-fi convention. Mm-hmm. So it's things we're looking at. The Comic Con's our big one, but we may do other themes as well. Like we did the horror. We may look at doing that anime con next year on the side, or doing a one-day show here. And just to see how those go.
So I remember the horror con too. Do you think you're ever going to try another horror con, or do you think that was?
Yes, not in January. Let's put it that
not
way.
In January.
It was good. Yeah, we did it in January, and we're like, because everybody kept telling us, they're like, hey, do a horror con, because there's not a lot of horror cons up here in Dallas. There's Texas Frightmare. We don't want to compete with those guys. That show is great. Actually, they've grown so much, they've moved locations for next year. They're moving to the Irving Convention Center. And then there's the show in Mesquite that's really good too, that we've set up at. So we were like, we always look at the con schedules because we don't want to compete with other cons. October is really good for us because we're like, there's no other big cons around us that same weekend in the area. So we don't want to step on toes or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the horror con, we had a lot of fun. We had a good crowd come out. It was different. We had a lot of horror vendors. We've talked about doing another one. If we do another one, we just have to find the right month. You can do it in October, but man, our Comic Con is in October and it's just very popular then. So it's just, us getting together with the four of us and deciding what's going to work best for that themed show.
So if there was any one thing that you've learned as an overall that you could pass on to somebody else who wants to do a con, what would it be?
Wow, that's pretty good. I would say pick the right location and promotion. Promotion's huge.
Yeah, always try anything and everything on promotion. You drive down the highway, you see billboards, promotion. Marquees are promotion, flyers are promotion. You could be walking through a grocery store shopping for groceries at an HEB and you got a set of flyers on you. Let people know what's going on. It's all about, the face value and the talk.
Oh, it is. And he's talking about promotion and we're talking about it. We stepped out of the box this year. So we're going to have, which we've never done, we're going to have radio ads going a couple of weeks before the show. They're going to be giving away free passes on the radio that we're doing at some local stations. We're also going to see, you're going to see our flyers. You're going to see our ads going right before the previews start in Look Cinemas around Dallas-Fort Worth. So I think there's 13 locations that are very popular up here. So there's like Studio Movie Grill owns them, but it's Look Cinema. Look Dine-In Cinema is going to have our ads running on their theater screens, literally right before the previews start, right when they tell you to turn off your phones and all that. Our ads are going to pop up for Cowtown Comic Con. That's going to launch 2 weeks before the show. So that's more people that may not have known about it. Social media is huge. It's finding that right audience. So again, we have Kim and Marty behind the scenes that are always pushing on social media for us. So, they're getting a lot more followers on that. So another thing that we're starting, like I said, this week, McLean went out, started yesterday, hitting our local vendors that have stores and going in the store, handing out the flyers and doing a live Facebook video, even if it's just, a minute, just saying, hey, this is Playing with Cowtown Comic Con. We're here with one of our great vendors that's going to be on our show. We're supporting the vendors. Hey, make sure you come out, stop by their store, even, So that's something we're starting this week and next week. We're going to hit that heavy around the DFW area and start popping into the stores and saying, thank you for being a vendor. Nobody else does that. So it's something else we want to do to support the vendors, not just the artists. So I think however you can support your vendors and your artists will make you successful. Because in turn, they have such big followings, they're going to in turn support you and push the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mish asked a question a little bit ago, and just so y'all know, I know me, Mish, Amy, and possibly one other from their show are going to have a show in, I think, the end of September, and it's actually going to be about struggles of putting on a first-year show. But
Okay.
She was asking the struggles of putting on a first-year show. How was your first year?
What would you say?
The struggles is learning the dynamics of things like load in, load out. How are you going to get people in efficiently, quickly, and no one's upset? That doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is, because these guys are doing this mainly full time. They're coming into your venue that they paid for, and they need to be taken care of. So you want to be very organized and you want to be very structured for when they walk in, boom, they only spend maybe 5 minutes with you, because in their mindset, it's like they got a few hours to set up. They're ready to go. So that was a very strong learning curve on the first show, which I think we did really well, because all of us pretty much are very organized and structured as it is. So we had a lot of anal-retentive things going on that really helped that situation. And also, we didn't just stand there and wait for people to come in. We offered at times to help them, can I help you come in? Can I help you do this? Do you need a dolly? Or, things like that. Letting people know that there's tools and other things in the venue itself that can be used to get you in quicker and get you out quicker. I think that was a good learning process. And the promoting side of it was a good learning process because you don't really know what's out there until you go and do something like this. And then as the show's going, our idea is that we feed off of everybody else. And at the show, it's like, and when people walk by and go, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? Immediately I'm on my phone, taking notes because I'm thinking, man, that's a good idea. Whether it's a good idea or it's been done before and we just failed at it, we're going to try it again because if there's X amount of people that are bringing it up, I want to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
To that point, one thing Kim did on our very first year, and I've never seen this done, and it may be, but in our area on the shows we've done as vendors, she walked around and gave every vendor a feedback form. How can we improve to better serve you as a Comic Con? And rate us. How do we do? How do we do on crowd attendance? How do we do this? And we had so much good feedback. I mean, there was so much positive. And then we get constructive criticism, which we want because we want to improve for the next show and be better for the next show. We're never going to be perfect. Nobody is. No con's ever. You're never going to be perfect for somebody. You may have 30,000 people through the door. You may have one vendor that maybe does $20. And it's just not what they were looking for that day. Doesn't mean it was a bad show because, your goal as promoters is to put on a good, safe show for people and have people come through the door for the vendors. And like he said, a lot of the vendors, that's their life. You travel around, that's how they make their living. So we want to make it the best show we can for these guys.
We want it to be comfortable for them. And, one of the learning curves of doing the vendor load in and vendor load out and everything like that was there's a couple guys that would come in and they'd be by themselves, right? And we probably all 5 of us here see it 100 times. They just come in by themselves, set up, and then their families come in later. They run the show, then they tear down all by themselves because they have families. Mom or dad might be watching the kids at home or working their day job and stuff like that. And there's one person setting up. That's a bit of a struggle. And I thought, man, with this Texas heat, that's got to be hard. And Kim came up with this brilliant idea where we went into our second show where everybody got a vendor load-in package, which consisted of their badges, information sheet on anything that they needed to know, Wi-Fi codes, blah, blah, blah. But we also gave them 2 bottles of water and help with whatever they needed, just to, finalize that whole deal and make them feel very comfortable. And, I don't know how many times at the Hearst Center, they would walk through the load-in area. Well, the Hearst Center had nothing but Coke coolers full. But with padlocks on them.
Yeah,
so
padlocks.
I don't know about you guys, but if I'm loading in
I don't
and
want to
I'm
see
looking
that.
at that, it's like looking at a mirage in a desert. I'm like, no, So we,
It's dripping off of you, and you're seeing these
Yeah.
photos.
Yeah. So Kim she's still to this day, and for this show coming up, we now have a sponsor for our water, thanks to Capital Right and Miller Lite, and they distribute water, purified water, and so we get 5 or 6 cases from them a year, and that's their sponsorship, kind of under the ground. But we take that water and we give it, and we basically, when people come to their tables this year alone, when you come to your table, there'll be 2 bottles of water sitting on your table waiting on you.
Because you guys know it gets hot during load in. It doesn't matter the weather. There's no air. The air conditioner may be on, but when those dock doors are open, it sucks the air right out of the place.
Yes.
You've all been to shows. It happens. We do the same thing, and we say, "Wow, wish the air was on." We may complain about it. We know the reason the air's on. We just know the dock door's open. You've got a lot of vendors in there. It gets hot. So, yeah, that was all her, because we're like, we've done so many shows, and we're like, wait a minute, we don't get water, and we go. And now here she is. She's giving away all our money. So, it's just little things like that. Like I was talking about the feedback form. She created this feedback form for every year, and she is a stickler to that. I mean, she will go by, if they haven't turned it in right before the end of the show, she will go by the booth and say, hey, I need your feedback form. Oh, well, I get to, no, can you go ahead and fill it out for me right now? Because I'd like to get that so we can better the show for you, your experience next year. She is very big on that and getting feedback from the vendors to see what we can do to make it better. And it's been very positive right now. It's just little things like that people may not want to do it for the show, and that's fine. Like I said, every show's different. Things work differently for every show. We just have found out that for our shows, this is what works best for us, and we're going to continue to do that and continue to grow on it.
You gotta remember, it's like, and I'm pretty sure I get criticized for this, but you gotta remember, it's not us that makes the show successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the artists, the vendors, and the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever feedback that we can get from them,
Yep.
Man, bring it on. Whether it's negative or positive, bring it forward, because we'll use that particular tool to make it better.
Oh, great ideas. Really good ideas for sharing.
I agree with that anyway. It is the vendor and artists that make the show.
Absolutely.
And the attendees, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Better word. Yeah, they're guests, but they're more attendees than guests. Because when you say guests, you think of the people you have coming.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree with all that.
Mm-hmm. So if there's one thing you want to share about Cowtown, what would it be? Like one nugget regarding Cowtown. Like
Share one thing about it.
One big promotional push. What would it be?
Family fun.
Nice.
I mean, we have a great cosplay community that comes out and walks around. We've got the 501st out there walking around taking pictures, but we want to be known as family fun. So we encourage people to bring their families out to this. Again, we don't have panels for this year, but it's not always about panels. Panels are great. Panels are fun when you have creators talking about it. But with us, with our Gabe's Cave guys doing our interviews, that's substituting our panels this year. But we want people walking around having a good time. All the vendors are friendly, and people love getting their photos made with cosplayers. And some of the cosplayers we have in the past, we've got 5 guest cosplayers this year set up, but the community that comes out and dresses up is absolutely incredible. You get 300 or 400 of them that come through the door on a Saturday, and you've got costumes everywhere, and you just see them stopping and smiling, and they're all about that. So, that's what I have to say. We just encourage families to come out and enjoy it.
That's why we do. That's why we do kids 12 and under for free.
Yep.
That's my next question. The beauty of not having the actual panels is it gives more time for like the one-on-one. If somebody wants to stop and talk to a specific artist or a cosplayer or an author or whoever, they can have that one-on-one time too.
Right.
Now, here's going to be the main question. Did y'all used to have cosplay contests? Or are you going to have one this year since you don't have a special panel room or anything like that?
We're not doing a cosplay contest this year. We've got the guest cosplayers. We're going to bring it in on our next one. Our first 2 shows, we did have cosplay contests, and we've had panels. But again, with the venue change and with what we can do, we were looking for room on where can we do a cosplay contest. We don't have a stage like we've had in the past. We don't have that other big room to bring cosplayers in for the contest. But we still encourage them. We still stop and talk to them. But that is something to where we've talked to the Will Rogers Center for our next show, and they're going to be able to open up this area that we need to have all that, to where we can put our stage on, have all the chairs, have the panels, and then on the side of that, have a cosplay contest with the red carpet and all that next year.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
So with all this and all the guests that you have next year, you plan on it just being the same size? You plan on having more people? Because I know you said you want to stay at a certain level before the show.
Our next show, we have the ability now to open up. Kim actually just walked in. Sorry, Kim, the final room, is it another 20,000 square feet?
Oh, damn.
97,000 total. So it's about another 40,000. That is another event going to go on, and we think it's a gun show going on for this event. We're not sure, but the way that the wall is partitioned, it blocks everything off, so you can't get into the other area unless you buy a ticket for over there. We're going to be able to have that other space, which she just said makes it 97,000 square foot of space. So we will be able to literally still use the wall to partition to have a panel room and have a cosplay room at the next one. So we will have that room. It was just when we were able to book this one, it wasn't, we weren't far enough out to get those spaces that we needed. So, but we were still able to get 52,000 square feet of space. But yeah, for the next show, we'll have the whole thing. And that was kind of in the agreement that we made with Will Rogers moving forward, how we're going to make that the permanent home, that we'll have the whole show floor for next year.
Nice.
And that's a lot more booths. So you're looking at, you add that, you're looking at another 100 vendor booths, and easily on top of, like I said, a whole panel room by itself and a cosplay area by itself. So
That means you have no fingernails.
hey, yeah. That's us too. That's actually all four of us. So if you ever see us, you see me on Saturday morning, right? The vendors are there. The vendors booths look great. Everything is set up. And we're 30 minutes before the show opens, and I'm walking around like a nervous wreck going, oh, nobody's coming. Nobody's ever coming to the show. That is my biggest thing, that they're like, we're fine, calm down. I'm like, no, nobody's coming. It's a failure. But then you look outside, you're like, oh, there's a long line of people out there waiting to come in this thing.
Oh,
So
Lordy. I see myself doing that on the first show.
you will. That was us on our very first show. We're like, oh, the vendors are here. They're there. The place looks great. It's set up. The signs are up. It looks beautiful. And then you're like, oh, we know we can get all that. Now it's getting people in that want to come through the door, that have a good time and want to come back. So far we've been successful on our first three, but it won't mean that 9:30, October 22nd, Saturday morning, we will still be sitting there as nervous wrecks. So, and I think that's normal with anybody that runs the show.
So let's see if I'm following correctly. So everything is on cowtowncomiccon.com.
Yes.
Okay. And kids 12 and under are free.
Yep.
Parking is $10.
Yep.
Okay. Each day. And you can get tickets online cheaper than you can at the door by like $5 a piece, right?
Yep. Discounted tickets are $10 online right now through October 8th. The online tickets shut off on October 8th, and then you have to buy at the door then. So, but they're $10. And then 2-day passes are $18 online.
Mm-hmm.
And then VIP packages are also available online for $45. And then there are 3 more items we're about to put on our VIP packages that include exclusive books that will go into those packages that aren't listed yet. And there's only going to be 60 of those available, because we had one of our local guys donate 60 books, one of our sponsors, that have either a Miko Swyan or a John Jane cover. They get one or the other, and not knowing which one they're going to get, we're just going to hand them their package. But there's a lot of goodies in those VIP packages, and we've been asked, it's only $45. Well, the book alone is worth $40. We're like, well, yeah, but there's more than just one book in there. You're getting other things in that package. So it goes back to keeping everything cost effective, letting people see that it's not just about putting, everything that goes to promoters that's come through the door. It's about trying to give things back. So the signage that we make, the people that we're bringing in, that's kind of the way we look at it. So we take that money and we put it back into the show.
Mm-hmm. And now on the website, if you want to find out who's going to be there, go on to the guest vendor page.
I think guest and artist is the link.
Guest,
right? Yeah.
Guest
I think if you look,
that's right. Guest artist page. And they're all just listed there. And there's a lot of them. I was impressed. There's quite a lot. And there's a lot of variety on them too.
We have a lot, like I said, we have 9 anime voice actors coming in. So we have that anime crowd covered. And then you have your comic creators. A couple of people I didn't mention was Aaron Bartling, who's getting to be very big in the comic industry, Ariel Diaz as well. So they're coming in as guests. But you go in there and you look at a lot of the local guys. I say local, we call them local, but they may be in Houston or things like that, or coming in from Mississippi or Alabama. But you go look at all them and go look at the body of work that these guys have done, and ladies. We've got novelists coming in, a whole slew of them. They always do good at our shows. The people that write books and write novels, whether it's horror or sci-fi. We have about 6 novelists coming in. So I think we have every avenue covered for somebody that comes in looking for somebody that writes novels, looking for comic creators, anime stuff, cosplayers. Everything is covered for the show.
I don't know any novelists at all.
None whatsoever. I have no idea what
No. None.
You guys are going down to Corpus Christi, I think, the same weekend, right?
Me and Amy are.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not.
So,
CJ's still.
CJ, you can just head on up to Fort Worth.
We go play.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
can
me and Amy are, and Lizzie, a cosplayer that I work with.
Okay.
But I was going to ask something, and CJ took over. Where's Amy? Amy's good at taking over.
Ooh. I don't know if that was.
Well, you know, I got to give her hell at least
I don't know if
once.
that was answering. She wasn't here to defend herself.
I know. That's what makes it so great.
So anyway, no, I'd be excited to come and check it out. It sounds there's a really good, like I said, there's a good variety of them. I've looked through all the guests and the artists on there to see what all was on there, and it's not anything heavy. It's not like heavy toward one thing or another. They're pretty well varied.
No, we think we balanced it out very good this year. Like I said, our whole thing is, again, it's putting the comic creators back into it, but there's something for everyone, we'll say. I mean, we've got the Lego guys coming, the Lego minifigure guys will be there set up. They always do good. So
Very cool.
Well, I think you said parking is $10, but that's because of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
yep. Parking's $10. That's the city. We can't do anything about that. So
unfortunately, no.
It's like cram as many people into the car as you can get. Kind of like those old drive-in movie theater type things. Put as many in there as you can get, and
then it's $10 a day.
Yep.
How long is Saturday's show?
10 to 6.
10 to 6.
Yep.
Do VIPs get in early with the VIP pass?
They do. VIPs get. Oh, I'm sorry. 10 to 5. 10 to 5. So VIPs do get in 30 minutes early.
And then
30-minute.
Something I'm missing. Tickets are $10 a day or $18 for both days, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, online. You go on and get your tickets. They're
Online.
$18 for a 2-day pass.
Now, can people come to your store and get tickets right now, or do they need to do that online?
They can just go online and get it. I mean, if somebody's watching right now and they're local, we thought we will give away 2. Where are they? There you go. We'll give away 2-day passes right now on your show and let you guys pick out who they are. If they live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or they're going to make the drive up, we will have them 2-day passes here to give away for free.
Okay, so I'll do it this way. Y'all have to message me for that.
And then do like a live spin later?
Yeah, you can do that. And then you just let us know and we'll get them the tickets. Will you have them at will call or?
So they have to be local to DFW area?
Actually, no. If they're going to drive up, because we will have people drive up from the Houston area and Austin and all that, or Abilene or Midland. We have people come in for that. We have literally, no lie, every show we've had 2 people come in from Arizona, fly in for the show as attendees. So we've got people we've said that are coming in from Oklahoma City and Kansas this year to drive down. So it's whoever. If they're coming and they're going to be there, we will give away a set of 2-day passes to them. So we will let you guys pick it, and you let us know, and we will put their names on the passes and get a hold of
them. I'm waiting for Mish to send a message, but like I said, with her show in Corpus, I'm telling you, she's going to be tired.
Well, plus,
regardless.
Those are 2-day passes too.
Yeah, those are 2-day passes also. And I know she can't attend on the 22nd.
No, I don't think she can.
I was going to say the other local would be Stephanie Nadoni.
Now Stephanie set up at our show before. We know Stephanie, so she set up before. She's going to be at another con and couldn't make this one, and we were looking at getting her Sunday only, but she didn't think she's going to be able to make her flight in time to get back in Sunday. So she's a good friend of ours. She's actually been set up in our store and hung out with us and stuff before. So we talk to Stephanie all the time.
Gotcha. Hey, Anubis.
Hello, Anubis.
Stuck it in the last minute.
Yeah. He's good at that on the occasion.
I think so. Definitely.
But that's a 2-day pass to Cowtown in Fort Worth this year at the Will Rogers
Memorial Center.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They have so many different names nowadays. Convention.
Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is 10 to 5. Sunday is 11 to 4.
That is it.
Definitely. And I know where Stephanie will be.
Kids under 12 are free.
Yep.
When accompanied by an adult.
Yes. When accompanied by an adult.
We're not babysitters, people.
Yeah. And we do get the occasional parent that'll look down at their kid that looks like he's 17 and go, "Oh yeah, he's 12." And the kid's like, "Dad, I'm 14," and just blow it for him right there. So we do get
Gotta
that.
love it. Gotta love it.
Yep.
So I was like, how old are you?
And I think you said this year you think that there's a gun show going on. So,
There's going to be some other event. Not sure if it's a gun show. Could be, but there's another event going on.
and I was fixing to say,
in the same
Dads, go
area.
to the gun show, drop the mothers and the kids off for the Comic Con.
You could. Yeah.
Or not. I wouldn't mind going to the gun show either. So you can't say it's just dads. I like those too.
Sure.
That's true.
Yeah. I was just trying to help them out with that.
Well, you got to help out the moms too. I'm just saying. Moms unite. You can go both directions.
Okay, moms,
Today
drop off the dad to go to the Comic Con.
There you go.
Show.
There you
Either
go.
way. How about either way?
There you go. A parent, one direction and another. Or, the best aunt in the world sending out the other way. I'm just saying. It goes
There's that.
There's that.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
General equality and whatnot. Yeah, well, when it comes to that, yep.
Hey, I know women who have concealed. So
I do. I own it.
good thing.
So
But
anyway,
I do want
as I said, Cowtown Comic Con in Fort Worth, Texas. 2 days, the 22nd and 23rd. Parking's $10. Get your tickets now because they go offline on the 8th of October.
8th of October. Yep.
See, I am good tonight.
You got it down.
As long as they're accompanied by an adult. And yeah, lots of fun. Check out their guests and their artists and enjoy.
And it's definitely affordable, so you can actually $10 for each day or both days for $18 online.
Now.
Yep.
Right now.
We definitely appreciate you guys bringing us on and letting us promote and talk about our show. So thank you very much for that.
Definitely. Thank you for coming on. We'll have to get y'all on again because, like I said, I know y'all have 2 shows a year.
Yep.
You guys are beasts. 2 a year for sure.
No, this will be our second one this year. So we'll look at our schedule next year, see if we're going to do 2 or just 1.
How fast do you want to lose sanity or,
That's already gone. That's already gone.
What the hell, sanity? Come on now. I lost that months ago. But yes, thank y'all for coming on.
All right. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm excited for your show.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
And we will talk to y'all later. And everyone, we will be on Tuesday at 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to have fun going to Anime, Oklahoma and getting there in time to interview Chuck Huber on September 8th.
We'll be ready.
So
Thank you guys.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
thank you.
Y'all have a good evening.